celebrating the seasons you're in, and it translates to what you keep in your home. So a lot of times we're pulled to keep old things, thinking, well, maybe if I go back to work, or maybe if I get back to this old lifestyle that I used to have, or when I find this perfect dream scenario, I'm going to hang on to these things because then I will need them. And it takes away the joy. And again, to what you all speak about, it takes the joy from the current moment. So what we really try to focus on with our clients is, what are your goals and dreams today, and what supports that?
Welcome to EnVibe Live Conversations with Amy Parker and Cheryl Dunn. By tuning in, you are joining a community that will inspire you to increase balance, wellness, and joy in your life. We'll offer expert information and insightful conversations to help us on our journey to live more EnVibe. For more information and articles, remember to also check out our website at envibelife.com. That's EnVibe.com. We're grateful that you're here. Welcome to EnVibe Live Conversations with Amy Parker and Cheryl Dunn. And today we have a special guest, Christina Lee from Graceful Spaces. Thank you for joining us.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure. Thank you guys for what you put out and all the joy and excitement and energy you guys put out.
Oh, well, you have inspired us, because something Cheryl and I love, besides believing in an organized space, but it's also your story. And the story of friends finding a joint passion and starting a business together out of that resonates with us. And so we want to hear about you and Rebekah and how Graceful Spaces organizing came about.
Yeah, well, it's a very simple story, but I think it's really powerful. And I was sharing with you guys a little bit that even looking back, for ourselves, it's inspiring to us to see what can be created out of so little. So it started because I was with a group of entrepreneurs on a trip, and they said, hey, you need to start an organizing business, and just based on your lifestyle and who you are. And I said, no, I've owned my own business and I will not do that with young kids. And I came back home, and Rebekah and I had only recently met. She had moved from Manhattan, 900 square feet with family of four. And she had left Chanel corporate. And so it was a very different lifestyle for her. And so she and I were having a play date, and I was chuckling to her and saying, isn't that nuts? And she goes, you won't believe this, but I've been praying and I've been journaling, and organizing is the word that keeps showing up in my life. And I want to do this with you. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, well, maybe we will. And so the conversation just started rolling. And what I find inspiring is that looking back, we only had 3 days a week with three of our four kids were in preschool, and they were going 9 to 1, 3 days a week. That's the time we had to start a business. And I think looking back, it's like, that's not enough time. If you were to really think about, should I do this? Should I make investment? It's not enough time, but we made it work. And I was just thinking and mulling over this, this podcast upcoming, and laughing because we just had their little tiny faces in between all these baskets driving around, and they just, did all these errands with us. And similar to what your story is we went through life together, and we shared so much, and just encouraged each other along the way. And the motto now at Graceful Spaces is, no, you're the best, because we would be on the phone and we'd be going, really loved how you did this today. No, I really thought, and my husband he goes, you're the best, hang up the phone and be done. So similar to you guys, it was more than just starting a business. It was sharing life and encouragament.
How long ago did you start?
5 years ago.
5 years. Okay.
5 years ago.
You guys have
coming up
come
in
a long
February.
way in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Y'all are doing very good things. So tell our audience a little bit about what Graceful Spaces is and all the things that you guys offer, because it's not just organizing.
We are different than a traditional organizer. We aren't session-based. We're a larger team focused on larger home transformation. So we found a long time ago that doing a space is really beneficial and never something to shy away from, but where we saw the true benefit and sustainability came from multiple spaces together. A lot of spaces bleed together, such as the kitchen, pantry, laundry. You use them interchangeably. Master closet, master bathroom, master suite, or primary suite now. kids' closet, bathroom, playrooms. If you don't organize them as a group, you may find that it's not sustainable. So that kind of prompted us to start doing the larger team mentality. We find a lot of times moving is that time that people have to really use their space efficiently, but it's also the time that's most chaotic, and it's where we can serve the most and get everybody back to life as quickly as possible and help people understand how to use their home. Our skill set is seeing a home and seeing every little bit. And that's not everyone's skill sets. We enjoy being able to help use every square inch, no matter how big the home is. And then out of that, we started developing what we call building luxury, where we've started stepping in with our clients alongside of their architects, their interior designers, and starting being a part of the early on plans, looking at just different drawing for them, pantries, cabinets, extra shelving space, because what we found is that it would be so much of an investment into these beautiful designs, but then go to put a plate in, and a plate is, you need a 12-inch shelf for a standard plate, and these shelves would be 10 inches, or they would spend thousands of dollars on a master renovation and there would only be room for 30 pairs of shoes when they had 40 or 50 or maybe 100 pairs of shoes. And so we come at it from a different perspective, in that, what do you own? What are the things you have? And let's build around that. So that's one of the services that we're excited to start offering. And then we also have our virtual course, where we kind of guide everybody step by step on how we organize.
Where would you start? So if someone's listening to this now thinking, oh my gosh, that all sounds wonderful, but I'm not building a beautiful new home and my home's a mess and I'm in that tight, cramped space, but I'm inspired to start somewhere, where would you suggest someone start?
We always say the kitchen, pantry, or laundry. They're unemotional, they affect the whole family, and they're relatively easy. The easiest one being the laundry room. But the biggest piece of advice that I could give someone is to say that when you choose a space, stick with that space, meaning you need to understand from start to finish how you're going to use it, and then finish it well all the way down to the label. So, it's very easy today to see those reels, and people literally snap their fingers and it becomes organized, right? Or they start with product and they start arranging product, and all of a sudden everything magically fits into the product. But that is not reality at all. So the biggest piece of advice that I could give someone would be to say, start with your goals, pick one space, and what are your goals for that space? And even in a laundry room, it seems very simple. Well, I do laundry. A lot of times we have old linens, we have kids' artwork, we have drop zones, we have household items. Like, decide maybe 2 or 3 functions in there. So for example, in a laundry room, you're doing laundry, you're keeping your household items, and maybe it's your drop zone. That's it. Now, remove everything that doesn't fit those goals, categorize everything so you understand what you've got in there. And if you have categories like, here's all my batteries, here's all my tools, here's all of my command strips, then you can start choosing products and where it goes and understanding. So it's really an important step that a lot of people miss before they start buying product. And then after you buy product, you got to label it, because that's that magical step that gets the whole family on the same page. And my husband always says, like, you're literally disobeying the label. You can't put batteries in the bin that says towels or that says sponges. And so, I think that's a really important step that takes some extra time. And that's another piece of advice, is that it could take 2 to 3 days just to do a laundry room, because you've got to pull it all out, think about it, step away from it, buy the product, label it. So just give yourself that time, because then it stays and you get to enjoy the sustainability from it.
That's where the grace comes in, right?
Yes, over and over and over. It's so true. We talk about that a lot in our course, and just that grace. But I love the course because we kind of guide step by step and have a lot of encouragement. Just that saying, no, you're the best mentality is so important when you're digging everything out and it's defeating and you just see this big mess. I say all the time, who made this mess and who's going to clean it up? It gets worse before it gets better. So it's really nice to have that encouragement. And we designed the course so you could pause it, come back to it, watch it again. There's workbooks, there's lots of pictures, there's lots of inspiration and quotes to keep you going. But just also that, you have a true friend when someone says, no, it's going to take a little bit of time, stick with it. So that's where we kind of came at it with the course.
That's really good to hear, because I often get super motivated and get about a third of the way through and then it's not going so well. I'm not really good at this. Let's go to another room.
Shove it back in.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So that office continues to just look like that drop space is what I'm assuming.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking you guys had such a motivation and it's so timely. I just moved to Charleston. We're expanding Graceful Spaces out here. And, you guys kind of talk about finding joy in the middle of chaos and balance. And the team was kind of chuckling when we were reviewing some of the topics that you all have, and they started laughing because when you're moving, there is no balance, right? It is all chaos, no matter how organized you are. And I loved what you guys were putting out as a reminder that whether you're moving and unpacking a whole home or you're doing a small space, finding the joy in that and, just kind of seeking the little areas of gratitude and grace for yourself and stepping away, not trying to get it all done, especially for type A people, we're very task oriented and we don't feel settled until everything's crossed off that list. And the reality that you just can never cross it off your list, but you can seek and find joy. You can step away. You can manifest that and create that for yourself. So I really appreciate it and thought how timely it was for me.
I love it.
We can truly believe that. And the cleaning out the space cleans out the energy to where then you have this internal energy to do what you need to do and focus on what you need to, or learn what you need to learn.
You're allowed. I think people don't realize that even stuff takes your energy. Or it takes your attention to have and maintain that stuff. And then particularly if that stuff is cluttered and unorganized, it's draining to your emotional body and energetic body. And when you come in and it's really, you're living with intentionality is what you're doing. Even your space is intentional, your stuff is intentional. And that doesn't mean stuff is bad. I mean, I love a lot of my stuff. I'm looking at a whole bunch of beautiful glass in my office right now that all belong to my mother. It's extremely important to me.
So there's a difference between organization and minimalism, and all have their place and they resonate with different people. And that's something that, we found. And we get a rap as an organizer, we're going to get rid of everything. And what we as a company focus on is celebrating where you are today. Fearless Mom has had a big impact on keeping us motivated as we got going. And I believe played a big role in the foundation of preparing our hearts for this business. And one of the things that they just talked about so much was celebrating the seasons you're in. And it translates to what you keep in your home. So a lot of times we're pulled to keep old things thinking, well, maybe if I go back to work, or maybe if I get back to this old lifestyle that I used to have, or when I find this perfect dream scenario, I'm going to hang on to these things because then I will need them. And it takes away the joy. And again, to what you all speak about, it takes the joy from the current moment. So what we really try to focus on with our clients is, what are your goals and dreams today and what supports that? But then, there are spaces for those memories and the things. So we offer tips like keeping a memory bin for every family member. You have a bin, choose however big it is, but the point is there's a boundary. So you can only have so much. And then also, what?
Is that my oldest kid has a couple bins. The more kids you have, the less bins they are.
Yes. So, and then also a dollar amount. So if it is something that you've invested, perhaps you made an investment into a suit that's still in really great condition and you really will return to work one day. Yes, let's not offload everything. But I think a lot of times we keep a lot of knickknacks and a lot of little things. So that dollar threshold can really help determine what you keep and what you don't, and the size. Like if it's a big item and it's taking a lot of space that something else could be using, then it's a consideration to let go. So
it sounds to me like when you work with someone, you're part organizer, part therapist.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah.
Well, I will say Rebekah's a much better therapist than I am. We are as different as our hair color. She is just rubbing the back and encouraging. I'm like, we got to go. We got to get things done. But yes, there's a lot of emotion with this. And again, like you brought it up, the grace. I love it because I see the other end of the freedom. And to your point of like stuff can weigh you down and keep you from moving forward. what I love about organizing is that then it puts you into a position where you can have ongoing routines that maintain your home and maintain your lifestyle. So one of our favorite things that we do in every space is have a donate bin in every major space of the home. A lot of times we also have a return to owner, sell, then the donate, repair, things like that. So as you identify items, like after you're organized, then you can identify items that no longer fit your lifestyle, belong in the space, whatever it is. And instead of adding to your mental to-do of, I got to remember to go through the kids' clothes, or, oh my gosh, I got to go to, I gotta make sure I do a spring overhaul. You don't think about that anymore. You immediately take action on the item by putting it into the bin that it belongs to. And then when the bin is full, or you have a monthly or quarterly routine on your calendar, it's a part of what you do every day, like unloading the dishwasher. So especially with kids as they outgrow items, things like that. But it just allows you to clear that mental clutter immediately and not be adding to your plate. There's nothing worse to me than people saying, I have to do a spring overhaul, I have to do a fall refresh again and again and again. That is so emotionally and physically draining. And you're literally doing this big process over and over and over when you could do it once and then make it part of your daily routine. So that's one of the things we really love about it.
Great advice. I just think that's brilliant because everybody thinks that, oh, it's spring cleaning. Let's go through all the kids' drawers. Let's get rid of everything that doesn't fit them anymore. And that does get daunting and overwhelming. But if you keep that little bin, it's like, hey, if you tried that shirt on and it doesn't fit, don't put it back in your drawer. Put it over here. Right?
Yeah.
So the kids can start to get part of the process too.
I enjoy it too, because we do seasons. So we do, same thing as things come in. So if you are accepting, or, you purchase something on sale and it's like this awesome deal on a coat or a jacket, if your kids are like my kids, you put them in their closet, they're like, fantastic, it's 90 degrees and I'm wearing that. You're like, no, that's for skiing, So we put that in the next season bin, or the next size bin, same thing. So it's not visually in their space. And another thing we haven't talked about yet is the empowerment that you give your family and especially your children. A lot of times we can forget why we're doing this. And that's why we say, before you start any space, you start with goals. And so a lot of times those goals can relate to your family members. And we want our children to be responsible spouses, roommates, friends, and we want them to respect the things that they own, right? And have an appreciation for that. And I think organization really gives that. And so that to me is a lot of times a trigger as a goal for clients to say, don't forget, we're doing this for your kids. You're teaching them a giant life lesson, and it's not going to happen overnight. So that give you one more tip on that. We really enjoy a treasure bin for kids, or a treasure drawer. Rebekah came up with this. It's brilliant. You store bin, whatever it is, but there's one space and all the Chick-fil-A toys, as much as I love Chick-fil-A, all the toys, all the birthday party knickknacks, all the stuff that we deem as maybe straight to the trash, but they deem as a treasure, they can put in the drawer. But the lesson here is that when the drawer is full, you have to go through and edit. It doesn't fit anymore. So you've got to release some of the things in here. So then they have to go through this activity of setting everything out, determining what they don't need, determining what they want to keep. And it's just that introduction, because if you try to do that with their clothes or their stuffies or some things, that can end up in a war. But it's a nice introduction to what editing means and living within a boundary.
Oh, I love that.
Well, I love this because I can say, so I'm a little bit further down the road than you. My kids are college and high school aged. And, one of the things my husband and I realized we have done or fallen into the trap of is, in this case alone, we're both hyper organized and like everything to stay very clean and at least the surfaces uncluttered. And it's so natural to us. We do it for them.
Yeah.
A little bit too much.
And sometimes it's easier to do it for them.
It is always easier to do it for them. Like I can go do that in 3 minutes and there's no fight and it's just over. Yeah. But we're kind of realizing now mistakes we've made.
Well, we all can look back and think of a million things.
Right.
For sure. I like that, we've seen kids as young as 4 years old be able to put away groceries. And kids as 6, 7 can put away laundry. Maybe it's not file folded, but it's important, even so, just understanding like what should they be able to do. So they're probably not going to file fold their t-shirts, but can they get their t-shirt into the proper drawer? Yeah, they can do that. And it's empowering them and teaching them. We're going through summer chores right now, and I'm getting a ton of pushback. It's why do I have to do this? And it's that constant conflict. You live here, you're a part of this family, and we are appreciation for what we own. And I mean, ask me come August if this is still happening. But this week,
I know it is motivating.
My kid, I'm probably in between. You probably have younger, I have middle, she has the oldest. But it's motivating to be like, you know what, if I get a little bit more organized, they'll help more. They won't come to me saying, Mom, what food do we have? Well, you put it away. You should probably know, right?
Yeah. That's a snack station. That is such an awesome, we've kind of been focusing on summer ideas. And one of them is a snack station. Again, that idea of empowerment for your kids. Some people use a drawer in their kitchen. Sometimes it's a section of your pantry. But when you start zoning out your room, so part of what we do when we're organizing, so you set your goals, who's going to use it, why, when, all of that. You start understanding your categories. And as you see your categories, some of your categories can be related to housekeeper, your in-laws, your kids, your husband, whether that's like a smoothie station for older kids who are kind of trying to learn to eat healthy, or it's a snack station for kiddos who just, are allowed to have a couple snacks every afternoon or whatever it is. You can start incorporating that into your categories. And that's something we talk about in the course when you're thinking through categories. We give like lists of categories, so you're kind of inspired with some ideas.
That is something I've done since the kids were young. We have snack drawers and even a little snack fridge for them we've had for years. And even their friends come in. I have 3 boys. There's a lot of food that gets eaten in my house. Even the friends come in and know where to go, where the snacks are. And that's a good way to clean it out, by the way. Say, I invite 4 or 5 kids over, and if it's boys, all those snacks will be gone and your cleaning's been done.
It's kind of making me think, a friend of ours, it leads me to 2 thoughts. One is that a friend of ours was telling us about how she's kind of organizing. She went in and organized her kids' closets. They got rid of everything they don't play with, but then they made a list of everything that they have. So when the kids say, well, I don't know what to do, I have nothing to play with, they have this list of 20 things that they have available to play, or different games that come out of the items that they have. And I thought that was a really great idea. The same could be applied to like a snack. You can make a list of snacks these are all the things you can make for yourself. So I thought that was really motivating for us in our home for this summer and what we do.
Well, and the other thing that does is we recommend, like, if you want to bring more of something wonderful into your life, appreciate what you already have of it. And so that's what you're doing. You're showing gratitude and appreciation for what you already have there. Let's talk about that for a minute. I mean, I think we all I think most people, not everyone, but most people like the idea of living in a clean, organized space, whether they're good at it or not, or it comes naturally. They like the idea of it. But let's talk even more about how it can help you or change you emotionally. Like, what can it do to...
Yeah. What kind of transformations have you seen with people? I'm sure you see a lot.
Yeah. I mean, there's just an undescribable weight that's lifted. Again, I go back to, a lot of times items trigger memories or wishes or desires that aren't reality right now. So I think when you, for example, walk into your closet and you see things that you love and you enjoy and you feel good in, you can really start your day off very differently than if you walk in and you see a life that you wish you had or you used to have, or, something that's not reality. I think that when, whether that's like, there's a season in my life that workout clothes were every single day, all day. And, having those be front and center in my closet, having them displayed really pretty, having them easily accessible, having them all fit in great condition, had a different mindset of embracing where I'm at today versus if I'm looking at all these old clothes and I'm like, well, I'm only doing this for a season, so I'm just going to wear this and I don't care what I look like. I think that you kind of adjusting your space to where you're at today can really be motivating and inspiring.
I love that.
I think that's great. I think that's great.
While we talk about not, like organizing and being sustainable, I think one of the things that we do enjoy is mentioning that you'll readjust based on those season changes. So like whether that's just a season change, like a literal season change, fall to summer to spring and all that, or a lifestyle change of activities you're doing, things like that. But kind of being aware of those can really help, whether that's like, hey, I'm going to get back into working out. Let's set up a smoothie station or a zone. We like to talk about zones in different areas of the home. They're areas that make the activities much easier. So you're doing all the steps without running around the kitchen or running around your closet. So just setting up those zones so that you've got it all right there and ready to go can be really helpful too. And for kids.
That's one thing I love about your website. For you guys listening, it's graceful-spaces.com.
Or both. You can do gracefulspaces.com too.
You can do gracefulspaces.com. You guys have very clear writing about the intention behind things and the energy behind it and putting your heart into it. I think it's very beautifully written.
Thank you.
You guys are coming from a different space than just somebody coming in to organize your home. Right?
Yeah.
You're coming in to really kind of change maybe, or not necessarily change people, but help us be our better selves.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a constant thing. Like I was sharing with you, like this moving is a reminder to me that we're always flowing, right? This is never, your home never hits the state of perfect organization. Even though we would love that.
That's good to know.
Something's always flowing. Something's always changing. I think what I enjoy about being a professional organizer and having a larger team is we can get you to neutral. We can get every space ready. And now you can flow with it. You can adjust your closet for the season. You can create a summer snack drawer in the summer that goes back to a lunch station in the fall. You can manage these small adjustments because it's not this big overhaul that you have to do. So that's one of the reasons that I encourage people to hire a professional organizer, is to get you to that really great spot. And also, like we were talking about in the beginning, if you do hire a professional organizer, have them do the hubs together, the spaces that support one another. Master closet, master bathroom, kids playroom, bathroom, all of it all bleeds together. So that way you can move forward with those small adjustments.
Well, that's what I was going to ask too. When should someone hire a professional organizer rather than just trying to tackle it on their own?
Guys, I will tell you, when you move, I've been doing it, and it's so much. When you move, for sure, is a wonderful time because they can help get you back to normal. I mean, it does take about a month anyway to move, and then to have to, my bathroom and closet are still, I still have those to tackle. So I think having that teamwork to motivate you and keep moving is really an impactful part. They also can see a space a little differently when you're moving. Your mind is distracted. You can have someone else saying, I see extra space here. I see a different way to use this space. So I think that's really important. But anytime, there is never a bad time to do it. I do think that, you've got to be a part of the process. You've got to be able to give some input on how you use the space, who uses the space, what you like. We believe that form and function do blend together. If you love the way a space looks, you're more likely to keep it up. So having that input as well, so that it matches your aesthetic, is something that Graceful Spaces really works hard on, is mirroring what the home looks like. So if it's modern and blacks and really cool look, we're going to try to do that. If it's very traditional or if it's very coastal, we want to match that because we do believe you're more likely to keep it up when it's.
I love that.
So you guys are located in Austin and now also in Charleston, correct?
Almost, yes. So we're in phase 1, which is get me here. Phase 2 will be for us to start doing services. We're going to do some preview projects here. We'll bring the Austin team out and do some preview projects, and then start getting a regular group of people here. And so we're excited for that, but that probably won't be for another 6 months, 6 to 9 months.
And if someone is interested in using your services, they can find you on your website that we've mentioned, and we'll link in the show notes. About how long does it take to get on your schedule?
So we're a boutique service, and we offer front to end service when we do it. So we're there to focus on our client, to do it right, to get it fully done. So that means that we're investing more time in 1 to 2 weeks with a client, with a team of 6. So our priority list right now is booked out until the fall. So typically it's an 8 to 12 week wait, sometimes a little bit longer. So I would say just when you know that life event is coming up or you're preparing for something, let us know early. We can usually adjust dates as we know life just shifts and changes, but it's important to be on the list. We also offer services, when you were talking about moving in, a lot of times when you move, you're starting fresh, we have a fresh start service where we can help just purchase those items. Like if you are looking to start fresh in your kitchen, for example, with the mixer, the bowls, the serving plates, the new silverware. We also have part of our team that does that as well, where we can come in and outfit with all of the items that you need for a kitchen, laundry room, bathrooms, things like that. We really enjoy that service as well. It's one of my favorites. And we do travel. So if there's someone that's interested in a whole home that they're ready to get started, we always love a good travel project too.
Well, and we have so many people moving to Austin. So all you people moving to Austin out there, keep this in mind. And then you have your online course for those people who may not be able to book you in time or have you travel.
Yeah. And so our online courses come with the Organizing 101, which is a lot of this step-by-step of how we organize any space, tips and tricks like the sorting bins we use, the painter's tape to label categories, just that thought process to get it going that comes with any course. And then we've got kitchen, pantry, laundry, wrapping station. We're building out some in the future for kids spaces and things like that. But you could buy a bundle, get all of them together. But our heart went into those to be able to share our process.
I love it. This has been so informative, and Amy and I truly believe in what you do as far as the bigger picture as our health. This is a big piece of it. And so it's been an honor for us to be able to present you to everybody. Before we wrap up, we like to ask all of our guests, what do you do personally to make your life more EnVibe?
Besides organizing, we know that.
Well, this is the question that my team laughed at because I'm not the model of balance right now in the middle of a move. We have some major structural damage to our home. And so 4 rooms have holes in the floor, which for someone who is just, I want all my things crossed off my list and there's a hole in my floor. I'm having to work.
This little square looks fabulous.
It does.
Right, it does. Thank you. It's just, I really love that you asked it because it's a good reminder and a challenge. So for this season with all of this, I have really been enjoying going out of the house and going to the beach, seeing all the new experiences around and kind of finding little areas of life that are peaceful, whether that's listening to the rain outside. We've gotten a lot of rain lately, listening to new sounds. We have a lot of new animals in our new environment, going to the beach and exploring new places. This is super cheesy, but Graceful Spaces, you follow us, we are a little cheesy. Do you guys remember Jim and Pam and their wedding, and they would take these little screenshots of moments that they wanted to remember? That's the exercise that I'm trying to perform right now. Just taking moments and saying, oh, there's the kids laying on the couch in the living room that's not done. Those are memories that don't want to keep forever. I don't want that reality to stay, but I enjoy that moment of we're moving in, it's chaotic. So that's what I'm trying to do in addition to yoga. Yeah, I really, yoga helps me a ton.
I think you sell yourself short. You're living in vibe out there.
Well, it's an ever-changing process, right? And I really appreciate what you guys do, especially, like I said, for type A's who it's very easy for us to get caught into that list and to want everything to be exactly in its place. And you're out there putting such good reminders that there's so much to enjoy in the process along the way. And, that's what it's about, not the end result. So.
Well, it's coming from 2 type A's or recovering type A's. Let's put it that way.
Exactly.
So, you guys are wonderful. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
Yes. And so anybody that's listening, if you found that this episode really helped you, please share it with your friends and go ahead, subscribe, like what you've seen. It really helps get the message out there to help everybody else live EnVibe, and it draws our audience to Graceful Spaces and helps us all, increase health and wellness in our lives. So thank you again, Christina from Graceful.
Gosh, it's my pleasure
for being with us, and we'll see you soon. Thank you for listening to EnVibe Live Conversations. For more information and to join our community, be sure to check out our website at envibelive.com. We look forward to sharing with you.